Hey, you are in the right place for 5 steps to create content that converts. We'll be getting started in just about a minute here. Now is a great time to download your PDF and access the spreadsheet that's over to the right of the page. You will want to make sure you've got a copy of that handy. And you've got about a minute before we jump in and get started here. Right, so I hope you are ready to go. This is going to be a workshop this morning. The goal is to create a content plan for yourself and to understand what kind of content to create so that you can convert the people who find your content into subscribers, into clients, and really build your business with your content. So at the beginning, before we jump in, here's what we all need to look at. Hello, my name is, I have a problem. You know, when I talk to people about content marketing, how to handle their blog, their social media, their YouTube videos, all of that, there's a lot of things that come up. Guess that you're probably familiar with some of these challenges. Maybe you don't know what to write about or where to start. You don't want to write and you're not sure how else you can create content. You don't feel like you've got something to share, or you're not sure how to share it outside of your programs, value in your programs. Maybe you just don't have enough time. You're not sure how to create content quickly. My goal today is to solve all of those problems for you. So knowing what your challenges are is important, because then you'll know what to pay attention to today. So I want you to think about that for a moment. What are the things that motivated you to show up for this workshop today? There's a few on here. I want you to think about which ones of these are your biggest challenges right now, because identifying that now will help you as we go through the workshop to notice when we're solving each of these problems, so you can really walk away with a different idea, a different mindset around these. So if you don't know what to write, you feel like you need a plan, you don't want to write, that's okay. You guys know I'm a blogger, but I'm not going to tell you you have to blog. There are other ways to do content marketing. Maybe you don't feel like you're expert enough. Maybe you hear people talk all the time about epic content and you're like, I don't even know what epic content means, much less how do I create it? You're not alone if you have that question. If time is a challenge, do any of these sound familiar? Leave a comment in chat. Let me know which ones of these you're struggling with. Maybe you feel like no one notices the content that you're creating. You're putting the time in, but people aren't finding it or they aren't commenting. Or maybe your content isn't converting into clients. This is a huge thing that I hear from nearly all of the entrepreneurs and small business owners I work with. They're creating content, but they don't know exactly how it connects to what they've got for sale, to what they're marketing. And in that way, it's not working for them. So we're going to look at how to fix those, as well as how to have fun when you're doing it. Because it shouldn't be, and it doesn't have to be, something you dread. It should be something that you're having fun with and really enjoying. So if you feel like maybe you're on this side with all these squiggly lines, all confused by what to do, we're going to solve that today and make it all make sense. Real quick, for anybody who doesn't know me very well, why am I teaching a workshop on how to create a content plan? A couple of quick facts and weird numbers about me. I once wrote 42 blog posts in one day. So if you are looking for shortcuts, and ways to create content quickly but still deliver value, I can definitely show you how to do that. You can do the math on that. 42 blog posts in a day, and yes, I did sleep. I also drank a lot of coffee. That's 10, 15, 20 minutes each max. I can show you how to create a blog post in less than 10 minutes. In fact, the blog post I just published this morning took me less than 10 minutes to put on my blog, and then another 5 or 10 minutes to send an email out. It's a very effective use of your time if you know how to do it quickly. And I've also created lots of what they call pillar content on my blog. That's blog posts that are 2,500 words or more. I have posts that are 3,000 and 4,000 words. Now, one of the secrets to doing that effectively is knowing how to repurpose that. The blog post, it ends up as an ebook and everything else under the sun so that it's attracting clients and you're getting a lot of mileage out of what you create. I've mentored more than 15,000 bloggers through the Ultimate Blog Challenge, the Extreme Traffic Adventure. I've published over 1,000 posts on my own blog, and I've got more than 2 decades of experience as a speaker, author, and trainer. So let's jump in to 5 steps to create content that converts, your 2018 Fun Effective Content Plan. Here's what you'll discover today: the 5 simple steps to creating a plan that you're going to be excited about and that converts, that does something for you, which, by the way, that's how to be excited about it. When you know if you hit publish, that content is going to help you with whatever your goal is. We'll talk about goals in a minute. Then you're going to be excited to create it. You're going to have fun with it. We're going to talk about how to know what type of content to create. So should you be blogging? Should you be doing a podcast? Should you be doing video? What's going to work for you? What topics should you be writing about? What's going to attract the right readers while you have fun and grow your business? I'll show you some examples from a promotion I did earlier this year for a product of content that I created very, very intentionally designed to sell people into that product, but it was still very valuable content. So I'm going to show you how you can do that with some examples. And then we're going to talk about the next steps for getting your content out there after you create it so it can work for you, because that's the other piece of it is once you create the content, you've got to get it out there. Couple of things, if this is a first webinar or webcast you've been on with me, if you're looking at the page, you'll notice there's a little button over there to the right. It says download the PDF. It'll open in a new window, so it's safe to click. That's your workbook for today. You're going to want to either put it on your screen so that you can make some notes as you go, or print out a copy of it. So you've got it. You'll notice there's more in there than we're going to cover today. So there's lots of brainstorming exercises, ideas for holidays and different things that you can work into your content plan. Basically, it's just packed with resources to help you implement what we're going to go over today. You'll also notice there's a link, content calendar. That will take you to this right here. I want to show you real quick what to do with it. Up here on the top, click File. You will not be able to edit the version that you click into. You need to make your own copy of this. Whatever you want as the title, and put Michelle's copy. And if I hit OK, what that will do is take this spreadsheet and it'll save it for me as my own editable spreadsheet in Google Drive. Now, if you prefer working in Excel, File, Download As, and you can download this right to your computer as an Excel spreadsheet. You can also download it as a PDF if you would prefer to print it out. You to come in here and edit this and customize it for you. So I'm going to show you how this content calendar works in a few minutes, but that's how to get your own copy of it so that you can edit it. So you want to click through, grab that, and then of course you've got your workbook for today. Looks something like this. If that's what you're looking at, then you are on the right. All right. So we're going to start with what are the 5 steps to really creating content that converts. Before I jump into that, I want to go over to what you've got. A plan so that your content converts. Brenda, you thought I was going to say drank a lot of wine. Well, the wine comes after the coffee. That's the celebration when you finish your content. Kim, you'd love to be able to create a blog post in 10 minutes. It takes you a long time. We will definitely be talking about how to create content more quickly today. And you want to start 2018 off on the right foot. That is a great plan. I see a bunch of me too's from that one, a me three. Awesome. Really, the goal of today is to help you with that. So really think through what kind of content that you want to create that will grow your business. And then brainstorm backwards from what your goals are to what to write about or what to create a video about or what to have on your podcast so that it all builds towards your goals. Because you'll realize that when you plan it kind of backwards, instead of sitting down staring at the blank page and going, okay, what am I going to write about? When you start from this is my goal, so much easier. Let's see, if the calendar link is not working for you, I'm going to put it in chat. I should do it. It's okay, it's giving some of you an error message, so let me see here. Make sure that it's cooperating. Thank you for letting me know. Let's try this again. And I'm going to put this back in chat. Let's see if that one works. Let me know if that lets you download it and if you're able to access the PDF. Okay. So step one is figuring out what your goal is. So when I say content that converts you, put some things in chat that convert means to you. Because that can be a lot of different things depending on why you're creating content. And remember, content is more than just your blog. It may be your videos, it may be your social media posts, it might be your podcast. What is your goal for all of that? I'll share with you what the top ones are for most businesses and then what my personal ones are. So you've got some space in your worksheet. You can make some notes for yourself, and I encourage you to really think this one through. What's your goal? Because everything needs to start from there. So some of the goals that are most common for businesses: brand awareness. So really just getting out there so people know you exist, because if they don't know you exist, they can't hire you to solve their problem, right? Lead generation. So building your list, growing your community. Engagement. I know I've made this mistake, you might have made it too, is you get people on your list and then you don't engage with them. You don't know what to send them, so you don't send anything. And then you go through that loop of, oh, I haven't emailed my list. I don't know what to send them now. Should I apologize? Should I just jump back in? Creating consistent content and engaging with people is one of the goals of your content marketing plans, so that you never have to have that conversation with yourself with that little voice in your head that says, well, you really should have been in touch and you weren't. When you are consistently creating content, you don't have to worry about what you're going to email your list or what you're going to say on social media, because you've always got something to share that's not, hey, buy my stuff, hey, hire me, hey, join my program. That's really the goal of your content marketing, is to give you something that you can share that will engage with your audience. Sales is a good goal. That should be part of everyone's goal, whether it's selling your services, your products, or something as an affiliate. Idea. Remember that everything that you do with your content is designed to persuade someone to take some action. We'll talk about action in a minute. Lead nurturing. So again, that's about what do you do to stay in front of those people who are aware you exist, but they haven't decided to work with you yet. They're not letting you solve their problem. Nurturing them is part of your content. Customer retention and loyalty. This is huge. Creating consistent content and sharing it is one of the best ways to keep your customers around and to have them really be loyal to you. And the next one on this list here is customer evangelism, to turn them into those fans who want to tell other people about you. And then another one is upsells and cross-sells. So content isn't just what you create for your blog or your podcast or your YouTube channel or your social media anywhere. It's also, what are you creating that your clients get? Helping to offer them the next thing. So is it upselling them into another step with you, or is it cross-selling something else that'll solve another problem they've got? Someone who gets into just one of your programs has not solved every problem they've got. They don't have the solution for everything yet. It's okay to be thinking, how else can I be of service and grow my business at the same time? Because if you don't make sales, what happens? well, you can't stay in business and then you can't help anybody. So these are goals that are good goals to have. So really think for a minute, what are your goals? Here's some of mine. Number one, become a trusted authority. A lot of what I share and how I've built my business over the years, marketing. You guys probably found me through my blog, through a webinar, through somebody else sharing me. There is a very, 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 very small chance that you found me through any sort of paid advertisements. I do some ads on Facebook, but what does it go to? My content. My content is what allows me to grow my business. And becoming a trusted authority, the way I do that is by showing you through my content, hey, I understand what you're struggling with, what your challenges are. I have the knowledge and the resources to help you fix that. Here's some of the steps you can take to fix it. So continuing to share content like that helps people trust you. It's not just about people knowing, liking, and trusting you. It's also about them realizing that you know and like them and that you trust they can fix the problem they're going through with your help. Nothing feels better than having somebody else say to you, hey, you know what? I see this problem. There is a solution and I believe in you. I know you can fix it. So remember that know, like, and trust goes both ways. And think about that as you're creating your content. Number two, attracting new leads. That is one of the main goals of my own content marketing, is to get people to opt into my list and grow my community, to get them to subscribe to me on YouTube or like me on Facebook, to join my Facebook group, and to be part of my community. The third thing is engagement, but engagement with the goal of research. So you'll notice I very often will put content out that what I'm looking for is answers, is brainstorming, is this a challenge for you? What do you think about this? I use my content marketing to research things and see. And you guys saw this just the other day. I sent out an email that had 2 PDFs in it, right? Now, essentially, those PDFs gave almost the same information. They were quick blog post brainstorming exercises. But watching which one you guys clicked through on told me how to position it in a way that makes you want it. So are you looking for more of a worksheet where you can fill in the blanks, or are you just looking for quick ideas? What do I need to say to get your attention to help you with this? So that's one of my goals when I do content marketing. A fourth goal is to share solutions and benefits. So when I talk about something like content marketing, I'll put things in my blog. You guys probably saw my blog post for today. Let me pull it up on the screen. Let's see here. I think you guys can see this here. It was 22 ways to create epic content when you feel clueless or uninspired. What did I start with? Some benefits. 61% of consumers have made a purchase based on a blog post. Business-to-business companies who blog generate 67% more leads. For business-to-consumer, it's 88% more leads. So guys, if you don't work with other businesses or entrepreneurs, that's okay. This will work even better for you. And inbound leads cost 60% less than outbound leads. I don't know about you, but I want to keep my marketing budget down. I like free strategies, in fact. So the fact that it costs less to do inbound marketing, which is what content marketing is, people coming in to you versus you pushing advertisements out there, outbound, it costs less and it's really an effective way. So I talked about benefits. Then I gave some examples here. Maybe these are some reasons that you're not creating content. Why did I do that? To show you that I understand. I get it. I go through these same things. Back over here. So sharing the solutions and benefits. One of the reasons to do this is to help people realize there's a solution to their problem, there's benefits to solving it, and you're the one sharing the solutions to the benefits, so that helps you become the trusted authority. Number 5, and this one is huge if you want your content to convert, overcome objections. Overcome objections. What does that mean? It means when I create content, one of the things I'm thinking is, okay, the next program that I'm offering is this specific thing. So let me actually just flip over and give you guys an example of this. I wasn't going to do this till later, but I think this will help. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. This is a blog post that I wrote before I promoted Proof Factory earlier this year. And Proof Factory is a tool that lets you capture video testimonials from clients. one of the things that I know stops people from getting testimonials is it feels icky. It feels icky to ask, right? Not for everybody. That's great if it doesn't feel that way for you. I know that for a lot of my clients, it's uncomfortable. You don't know for sure what they're going to say. You don't want to bother them. There's all these reasons that we put in our heads, right? Of I don't want to reach out and ask for feedback and ask for a testimonial. So I wrote a blog post that addressed that specific objection. 7 easy, non-icky ways to get clients raving about you. And I don't know that non-icky is actually a word, but brand personality. So what I talked about in this, I did the same thing. I gave benefits first. Positive reviews increase chances that people will buy. 72% of customers trust reviews. There's lots of numbers and facts in here to help people understand. You could see I was promoting a free webcast. I also did a webcast about it. But I gave people specific tips on how they can ask for testimonials in a way that feels better. Plates to make it easy. You can see there's copy and paste emails here. Things that make it just easier to do and that it doesn't feel icky. What was I doing? I was overcoming the objection of, I don't feel like it. It doesn't feel good. Start. And I don't know what to say. So all the things that I know stop people from reaching out for testimonials, I put into my content and overcame those objections. I give people specific questions to ask. And you can see in here, what am I talking about? I don't know if you can see that on the screen. It says Proof Factory. I'm talking about the product that I was offering, right? So this is an example of overcoming objections with your content. What you want to do is really think, what's the next thing that I'm offering? What's the program? What's the service? And why would somebody say no? What's stopping them? Because if there wasn't something in their way, they would have already solved the problem. Stopping them from solving the problem. Think about how to work that into your content. And we'll go into this a little deeper in a minute. But just as one of your goals, overcoming objections. Okay. The next goal that I've got for my content marketing is to paint a picture to help people imagine what could be different. Stuck, and I'm having a problem. And we'll talk in a minute about what your customers are facing as problems. But if I'm trapped, you guys know how it is. You spiral into, this is a problem. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what to do. Imagining the solution on the other side. So if you can use your content to paint a picture of how it feels when they've solved the problem, see that it's possible to solve it and getting them that much closer to trusting you to help them solve it. Things like case studies. Another phrase for that is fan stories or client stories or your own story. What we've been through and how we solved it. So a lot of times what we offer in our businesses or what we talk about on our blogs are solutions we found out of necessity. I did not set out to teach content marketing. I wasn't like a 4-year-old going, I'm going to teach content marketing. When I was 4, I used to line my stuffed animals up and pretend I was a preacher. My parents like to remind me of that. But it's something that when I found myself in a position where, hey, I need a way to make money from home. I've got kids. I'm in Alaska. I'm super isolated here. What do I do? I had to figure out what are free ways that I can market my business. I had to figure out how to start a business first and then how to get clients for it, right? So when I share that story with people, it's painting a picture for them of, okay, hey, this is where I was at. This is the problem that I was having. Maybe you have it too. This is how I solved it. Now, if we have the same problem and I was able to solve it, and here's all the reasons that anybody else would look at me and go, oh, she's never going to figure it out. Oh, okay, if she can do that, I can probably do that. So even your own story is a great place to start for this. Okay, and then number 7, converting people to clients, of course, is one of my goals for my content marketing. That means getting people to click the button to hire me, to invest in one of my programs, to join me for something so that I can help them even more. Benefits of content marketing that are goals. For me, attracting strategic partners. When I put out good content and I do it consistently, I get noticed by people who are willing to promote me, or who are willing to allow me to promote them, create different partnerships, right? And creating loyal fans. I've got people who have been on my list for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. who share everything I do, who maybe until this year had never actually purchased anything from me, but they've referred people to me who did. Or they're out there sharing what I do. So creating loyal fans, both before their clients and after their clients, is a huge piece of my goals for content marketing. Now, why did I focus on this piece for quite a few minutes here? Because if you don't know your goal, you can't make your content convert. And if you don't know your goal, you might be measuring the wrong thing. Content going, nothing's working. When really, 3 or 4 of these things are working, it's just that you want a different goal to work better. And knowing that is how you fix it. So what are some of your goals? I'd love if you guys share in chat what some of your goals are. And I'm going to flip over to chat here so I can see it. Okay, calendar's working. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Brenda, I can help you with the spreadsheet if it's not working for you. I'll make sure you've got a copy of that. Okay, those are all goals for you, Kim? Yep, they're all good goals to have. Okay, all right, so let's talk about step 2. Step 1 is knowing your goals. Oh, actually, real quick, one other important thing. When you're looking at your goals, and this is in your spreadsheet, let me zoom in a little so you can see this better here. There we go. You always want to have a call to action in any content that you release. Even if it's not directly promoting something that's for sale, always get your audience into the habit of doing something. You will notice I never send out an email that doesn't ask you to take an action. Even if the only action is, hey, think about this, or click through to this blog post. There is always an action. Why do I do that? Because I know that if I get you in the habit of taking an action when you see something from me, that's how I can actually help you. Because if all people do is read your content, consume it, and they don't do anything with it, they're not going to benefit from it. And yes, part of that is conditioning people to click when you offer them something that will help them more, that there's an investment for. By conditioning people to take action when they see your content, you will raise your conversion rates. Because when you do offer something, they're already conditioned, they're used to taking action. And if you get them to trust you with the small things, get them to trust you with, hey, just try this one mindset exercise, just try this one thing. If you get them to trust you with those small things, then when you have a bigger action that requires a little more trust of, say, hey, invest in this program, let's have a conversation about working together, they're going to be more likely to do that because you've already established that you're a trusted authority who can help them. So never publish a blog post, never create a video, never do anything that doesn't ask for an action. And that action doesn't have to be buy this, get on my calendar. It can be something like comment, click here to learn more, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're active. Watch my Facebook Live, download a resource. That would be one of your resources, like a PDF or a freebie you offer. Do this exercise. You guys will see that sometimes in my emails. I'll say, hey, make this commitment to yourself, XYZ. Or, hey, stop and think of 3 ways you could do X. Okay, I'm doing that very intentionally. Listen or subscribe to your podcast. Watch or subscribe to your YouTube channel. Read this book. Join my Facebook group. Register for a webcast session. Sign up for my program. Join my private coaching. Check your email. Like or that should say heart. Like or heart this. Check out this resource. That could be an affiliate thing that you're promoting, right? Always have a call to action in every piece of content that you create. So let's go to number 2, and you've got room on this page to either write some notes or draw a picture, depending on what works for you. I want you to really think about, who is your audience? Who is your audience? So thinking about audience, if you're selling something to, for example, someone who's in business, you want to get a little more specific. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it the organized person? Is it the person who's a little flustered? The same product could be sold to everybody on this slide, but you're going to sell it differently, and you're going to create different content depending on what version of this your audience is. So I need to really think about who your audience is in a different way. Don't just say, it's a woman, she's this age, she lives here, she drives this car. I want you to think about it this way. That person who is perfect for it, now remember, you're focusing on your goals first. So I need to think, January, what are you going to sell in your business? What's the program you want to focus on? Okay, you got that in your mind? Now, who is the perfect audience for that program, for that service, for that product, for that affiliate offer? Whatever it is you're offering, who is your perfect client? The one that just makes you happy to work with because they actually go through the program, or they show up for their calls, or they buy the product and implement, and you get excited because they get results. Who is that person? Now, thinking about that person, when they wake up in the morning, what's the first thing they're thinking? When they sit down at their computer or when they get in their car, what are the things they're thinking? And we're going to go in a minute a little bit deeper with this, but I want you to just start thinking a little bit differently about your audience. Really, you want to focus more on what are they thinking, what are they feeling, what are their hopes, what are their dreams. And I'll send you guys as a follow-up to this webinar something called an empathy map exercise that will help you with this more. We're just going to briefly go over it here. So really think about who is your perfect client, because that's the person that all your content is designed for. That person who will be excited to get into your program or to buy your product or to hire you for your services, and who you'll be excited to work with. Okay, so really think about who is your audience, who exactly is your content for. And then step 3 is, what are their biggest questions, challenges, frustrations, problems, hopes, dreams? You guys have seen me before probably do an exercise with what's called VABROM. That's in your worksheet. So we're going to scroll down to that here in your worksheet. And here's what these stand for. V stands for vision. What is your ideal audience's vision? So think about the program, the product, the service you offer. What is it really doing for your clients? What problem does it solve? Why does that matter? Why does it matter? What does it change for them? What's their big vision? Okay, the next one, A, stands for anxieties. What are they anxious about? Why do they need a solution? What's going wrong right now? What have they tried that's not working? So anxieties. Blame. What are they feeling guilty for? What are they feeling like this problem is their fault? And how can you help them realize it's not actually their fault? R stands for reality. What's the reality they want to escape? How can you help them escape that? O stands for opinions. What are their opinions? When you know what they're thinking, what their opinions are, you can either agree with them and validate those opinions so that they trust you. They go, okay, you really get me. So it might be they think that something is hard. And you can say, hey, yeah, it is really hard, but it's hard because no one has shown you this yet. You guys see me do this a lot. I know that one of the opinions people have about blogging is that it's super time consuming and that they don't have time to do it. So I'll say, yeah, you know what? It can be really time consuming, but let me show you a few ways to fix that you can create a blog post in under 10 minutes. So I'm validating your opinion, but also showing you an alternative. Right? And M is monsters. What are the monsters that your audience is trying to escape? So I want you to take some time and think about how these apply, again, to your specific audience for the product, the program, the service that you want to sell in January. What are these things for your audience? Because this is where your content starts. Here's another way to look at it. What is the migraine, the stubbed toe, the fatal illness that your audience has? So if you were a doctor, what is the disorder or disease that your audience has that your program, whatever you're selling, is the prescription cure for? So if you think of what you've got as the cure, what is the disorder or disease that your audience is struggling with? There's some room for you to write down some ideas here. So what is the problem or challenge? Why does it matter? And what's the solution? So if I were filling this out, for example, let's say I was going to take this content workshop, build a whole course around it and sell that in January. If I were going to do that, I would start by looking at, okay, What are the problems that it solves? Well, when you've got a content plan, you save lots of time, you save lots of brain power. So I might write that in here. Problem, don't have enough time. And the challenge is, how do I create content faster? How do I create a plan that saves me time? Why does that matter? Because let's be honest, you would probably rather be doing other things than creating content. You've got your family, you've got your hobbies, you've got, Netflix. There's other things you want to spend all your time on. You don't want to spend 5 or 6 hours a day creating content or being frustrated because it's not working and you don't have a plan. So what's the solution to that? Well, there's a couple of solutions. Number one is showing you exactly how to create a plan. Number two is showing you quicker ways to create your content, right? So think about what the different problems or challenges are that your audience is having right now that you are the solution for. Your product, your service, whatever it is that you're the solution for. Write those in here and ask yourself, why does it matter? Why do they need to solve that? And then rank them by priority over here. Because if you've got something that's a major, major pain point for people, they're really frustrated by it, then those are the ones you want to focus your content on. Okay, so this is another way to kind of brainstorm what are those things that you're a solution for. So what's the disorder or disease? And then what I want you to think about is how you can transform what you're doing to be the solution to the problem your audience is already aware of. Very often, we sell solutions to problems our audience doesn't want to solve. Okay, so really think about, how does your audience describe their problem? What they're frustrated by right now, and what solution are they looking for? An example of this is, when we land ourselves in the doctor's office and we've got a migraine headache. Well, all I want is something that takes the headache away right now. I want you to give me, Excedrin migraine, some sort of immediate solution. That's what I'm looking for. I am not looking for the advice that says, okay, Michelle, you need to look at your diet, you need to look at your stress levels, you need to fix all that. Okay, but that doesn't help me right now. Pain with something right now, and what they're actually looking for is that quick pill. They're not looking for the long plan of, okay, these are the 27 steps. You need to, stop with the caffeine, stay away from the chocolate, whatever's triggering the migraine. You need to do the research, right? You need to reduce your stress. Is take that thing that you know is the real solution. A doctor is going to tell me, okay, you can take Excedrin, but that's not actually going to solve the problem. It's only going to ease the pain right now. Want though. So for your content, you need to think about how you can transform it so it's the solution your audience is looking for. And then give them what they actually need. Okay, you get their attention with the Excedrin, with what they want, but you give them what they need. So you do both, right? So think about that as you're thinking about your content ideas. And we're going to go into the brainstorming of content in a minute here. Step 4 is, what type of content works for you and your audience? I know some of you have told me, I don't want to blog, or I don't want to get on video, and that's okay. You want to think outside of the box. So I want you to stop and think for a minute. What type of content would you be excited to actually create for you? And what type of content does your audience consume? If you have an audience that is not readers, then it doesn't matter if blogging works for other people. If your audience doesn't like to read, then it's probably not your best bet. If you have a super busy audience, then it's probably not going to make sense to do a 3-hour podcast, but it might make sense to do a 10 or 15-minute one that they can listen to while they're multitasking and doing something else. If you have an audience that absolutely loves video, well, then consider video. If you have an audience that won't watch video for anything, then don't do video. So think about both what you enjoy and what your audience will consume. And think about where those come together best. So let's look at some different kinds of content that you can be creating. All right, so some types of content, and this is on page, what page are we on? On the step 4 page in your worksheet. Checklists, email courses, cheat sheets, quick guides, ultimate guides, manifestos, free books. They can either be an ebook or a print book. Challenges are a type of content. Facebook Lives, video series, screen flows, webinars, strategy sessions, resource lists, surveys and the results, AMAs, that's an Ask Me Anything, podcasts, audits or reviews. Have you ever thought about creating reviews of things that you can share on your blog? Assessments, quizzes, templates, swipe this type files, behind the scenes, experiences, expert secrets, case studies, blueprints, mind maps, printables, so worksheets, checklists, things people can print out, groups. A Facebook group is a type of content because you're putting content in there. Apps, memberships. Memberships can be free or paid, so think about that. You could create a free membership. It's called a login opt-in strategy. You guys may have seen that before. Instead of opting in for a freebie, you create an account somewhere to get access to a library of things. So these are all different types of content that you can create. And I actually think I forgot to put blog post on this list. Yeah, I should probably put blog in here. Okay. So these are all different options for content that you can create. You don't have to focus on, okay, I've got a blog 31 days in January. In fact, I don't recommend that anyone do that, because if you're not taking the time to promote your content, then it's not going to effectively do anything for you. You can have the best content in the world, but if you don't get it out there and let people know, it doesn't get found. Doesn't get found. Build it and they will come does not work in 2017 on the internet. You've got to let people know it exists. So I suggest setting your goal to create 1 or 2 pieces of content a week. And then the other days really focusing on promoting it until you get to a point where you've got enough loyal fans and you've got enough of a list that it's very easy to promote your content. You can publish something, send out an email, and you know you're going to get readers. Okay, that's a different phase in your business. For where most of you are at right now, only 1 or 2 pieces of content a week. From there, you spend the rest of your week promoting that content, getting it out there, and repurposing it into different formats. So it's something else to think about. Really, your content that you create, whatever you're creating, it all works together. And I'll show you that a little more in a minute when we get to step 6. Here's some faster ways, though, to be inspired and ethically borrow content and ideas. So as you're thinking about your plan, who can you feature and talk about their thing? Who can you do a review of their book, their blog post, their program? What can you offer your 2 cents on? How can you give a different spin on something? Or can you cite something? So you see a top 10 list, you love one of the ideas, can you cite that and then go in depth with one idea? When you see content that you like or someone who you admire, look for ways like this to ethically build on their ideas and share. Okay, that can help you to create content faster. You'll also find I've got a PDF that after this webinar, I'll be sending out some resources for you guys. One of them includes ways to very quickly create content. Okay, so there's ways that you can find content: YouTube, TED Talks, ezine articles, lots of places. Pinterest or Google image search for infographics. You guys notice I share a lot of infographics like I did this morning. That's a good way to create fast content that also is really valuable for people, right? Just looking through this has some great ideas in it. And that's the one I shared this morning. Okay, and so that's step 4, is what type of content do you want to create? Here's some more ideas for you. We're going to go into creating your plan now. Thinking outside that blog post box again. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Ask and answer questions. Write tutorials. Or do a video tutorial, or do an image tutorial. How-to posts. Create or share infographics. Audio and video content. Curate content. Can create a top 5 list, a top 10 list. Share resources. What books, what blogs, what videos are you finding helpful? You can create challenges and competitions. You can create and present an award. Have you thought about that as an option? That ultimate vision, that outcome that comes from people going through your program, can you create an award around that and then present it to people in your niche? That's a great way to both showcase clients and feature industry influencers in a way that helps you get out there more. You can design tools and quizzes. You can do interviews. You can review products and services. Let's go back right here, though. Step 5 is create your plan. And the question you've got to ask yourself as we start to look at actually creating your plan, I'm going to show you how to use a spreadsheet in a minute here. What does your audience need to know or decide before they can say yes to your goal? So if your goal is to get people into your program, what are the reasons that right now they're not a yes? What do they need to know? What do they need to decide before they can say yes? That's what your content should be focused on, is supporting that process of going from, this is a problem, I don't know how to solve it, I don't know if I can solve it, to, okay, I'm excited, this is my solution, I want this. How do you get people from point A to point B? It's with your content. So whether that's you on Facebook Live sharing your story of how you went from point A to point B to inspire them to know it's possible, whether it's you creating content that says, hey, this is a solution, here's what happens when it's solved, and you put that in a blog post, or whether it's you doing podcast or video interviews with other people who have solved a problem where you can say, okay, so what was the process for you? What was it like before you solved this? Yeah, I get that. I was there too. Okay, so you fixed it, and what's it like now? Creating content like that is how you get your content to convert. Again, it's about helping people imagine not only is there a solution, but the solution can work for them and you're there to help them. You're the person who can show them how to apply that solution to their problem. Right? So really think about that. And I encourage you to write down some notes for yourself, thinking about what you want to sell in January. What are the things that your audience needs to know or decide before they could say yes? Let's see, a couple of things real quick that are in your workbook. You'll find holiday inspirations. We'll talk about what this is for in a minute. There's lots of unique and interesting holidays listed here for you with some more links to where you can find them. So we'll talk about that, and then we're going to go to content promotion. Let's go to your content marketing plan. I'm going to flip over and see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, you guys have some great goals you shared in here: attracting strategic partners, emailing consistently, making the right connections, tying things to a funnel. Awesome. All right. So how do you know what your clients are thinking? We can definitely talk a little more about that. Yes, answer questions people should be asking you. That's what the last question is about, is what do they need to know or decide? Your audience probably doesn't even know what the decisions they need to make are before they can say yes to something. They probably don't know what their questions are they should be asking. So that's your job, your opportunity is to help them to transition from, I have this problem, to, okay, I want the solution. So one of the questions they've got to answer is, do they really want to solve it? And that goes back to figuring out what's their vision. Why does it matter that they solve the problem? So let's look at the content marketing calendar here, and I'll show you how this works. So you want to plan your content out around your promotions, around what you're selling, around what you want to convert people into. As an example, I'm going to fill this in. Let's see, there's a border missing. That's going to drive me bananas, so I'm just going to fix that real quick. Oh, that's better. Okay. When you start and look at your content planning, there's a couple of things to look at. Now, one is, what type of content are you creating? For me, I've got my blog, I've got my email list, and then I've got a Facebook group that I want to be more consistent with putting content in. So I've got that as its own row in my plan here, right? And then I've got my days kind of focused out on what I would like to do each day. Now, this does not need to be something different every day. It might be blog post, promo, Facebook Live, promo. Okay, you can customize this to a plan that makes sense for you. All right, I'm gonna put this back. I encourage you to just think about what are the types of content you want to create and really focus on just 1 or 2 good pieces of content a week. It might be a video on Facebook, it might be a blog post, okay? But whatever it is, it might be your podcast, but set reasonable goals for yourself. You notice I've got one day that my only goal is writing day. If I don't have a day for writing, then the blogs aren't really going to happen. I've got to have a day focused on writing. Okay, so think about what you need to set yourself up to succeed with this. What's realistic for you, right? And you can see this is for a month at a time, so you can go in and you can actually change it to whatever days, you can change this to February, so you can copy it. If you're familiar with Google Docs, you just go in here, let's see, duplicate, and that gives me another one. So I could say January on this tab, February on this tab, and I can continue, right? So the first thing that I do when I'm looking at my content for the month is, okay, what are the non-negotiable things happening this month? So what are the holidays? What are the birthdays? What are any family commitments I have? What are days that I absolutely know I am not going to be blogging or creating content that day? So you've got New Year's Day. I've got that holiday on there. And then I would look and see, okay, so maybe I've got an event. If I have an event I'm going to, I would block those days out. And I might just, change the color, put event, so that I remember I've got that on that day. Okay. And you can make notes. Probably here's a better spot for that, actually. Yeah, let me fix that. So right by the date is the best place to make a note for yourself. If I were going to be away at an event, I would want to make sure I note that so that I can create content in advance, or otherwise, do what I need to do to be ready for that. And you can see how easy it is to come in here and edit this as you go. So I block out things like that first. And then I'm going to put my promotions in there. So I know, for example, right here, I've got an Insider Club promotion that's ending. What does that mean? It means whatever I do Sunday, Monday, it's going to be focused on that. My content is going to tie into that somehow. Now, if I wanted to do, let's say I were going to do a promotion for Proof Factory midway through the month. So if I know that right here, I want to promote Proof Factory, I would put this in here so that I know, hey, this week, all my content is going to focus on testimonials, on social proof, on how that helps you build your business, on creative ways to use video, right? So based on knowing this is the promotion that's happening this week, my content both this week and this week is going to be focused on that. So if I'm going to do a blog post, it might be how to ask for testimonials. Okay. And then my email would be, I'm going to email out the blog post when I get it done. And in the Facebook group, I might do a Q&A about testimonials. Okay. So that tells me, okay, that's my content for that particular day. Then I would look and see, okay, so I want to do a Facebook Live on Wednesday. So if I were going to do a Facebook Live, what I could do is examples. So how to give a great testimonial. That's one of the things you can do with the tool is record testimonials and send them to other people. Right? So if I were going to do that this week, then the next week I might do one, if I'm only doing Facebook Live once a week, I could do one on how to leverage testimonials that you give to get noticed. So what do you say in a testimonial that will get somebody else to share it everywhere? And how do you make sure that your name, your business get mentioned and that you get exposure from it so people look you up? So my goal with the content that I create would just be to give people different examples of ways that they can use this tool so that when I get to the part where I say, hey, by the way, I've got this really cool tool called Proof Factory. Here's what it allows you to do. People are like, oh, I already know how to use this. And I see how this could build my business. I'm excited. I want to try it. That's how you create content that converts people into your programs. Right? So I showed you one of the posts that I used when I promoted Proof Factory before. Let me show you a couple more so you've got some examples. Let's see, here's another one. Pull this over here. 7 creative ways to get great testimonials, also known as social proof. And I gave different ways that you can reach out to people and get them to excitedly give you a testimonial. And right there, I mentioned Proof Factory. This post is brought to you by Proof Factory, the easiest way to capture real video testimonials with no tech headaches. All right, so you can see the content that I was creating. Here's another one. Pull this up for you. Social Proof, the Art of Influence Marketing. This was an infographic. It was about social proof. 60% more traffic, 30% higher conversions are some of the stats from this. How you use social proof in your business. Now, I didn't create this. I just found it somewhere, shared it, and credited the original author of it or designer of it. Right? So these are some stats that, again, it's overcoming objections. It's showing benefits. This is the kind of content that will convert people. So you can look for graphics in with your topic and your goals. Here's different types of social proof. This is really cool, right? This is valuable content, even though this blog post took me like 5 minutes. So don't tie the value you deliver to the amount of time you spend. It's not about, they say this about like mechanics. It's not that it took the mechanic 5 minutes to fix something. It's that he knew exactly what to fix. So what to share, what kind of content your audience is looking for, what will be valuable for them is important. It's not how long it took you to create the content or even whether you created it yourself. It's that you know what to share. You know the problem people have, you know the solution, and you're helping connect that, right? So that's another example of content that was designed to sell people into the Proof Factory tool that I've got. Okay? So I want you to think about your content a little bit differently. Now, here's how this would fit in. If I know that I've got an event right here, but I want a blog post to go live Thursday, what am I going to publish? I'm going to go find an infographic that I can do a blog post in 10 minutes, and I'm going to set it up ahead of time and schedule it so that even though I've got stuff going on, I'm putting out valuable content. I'm also going to schedule an email that shares that blog post. So on this day, if I'm doing a Facebook Live, my email would be, hey, about to go live on Facebook, right? So by planning things out like this, your content all stays cohesively tied to what it is you're promoting so that it will help you convert people into clients or customers. And how much easier will it be for me in January to go, okay, hey, I know the 3 blog posts I need to write. I need to look for one infographic or a video or an article from somebody else if I want. Somebody else's content is what I'm leveraging there. I know exactly what my emails are going to be about. So I know when I'm going to email my list. I would also probably work in here interviews. So if I've got podcast on Monday, well, this would go for a blog post on a different day. Let's see here. Put this over here. But you can see how this works. So you just come in here and plan out your content based on what is it that is the problems, the challenges your audience has. What do they need to know before they can feel confident, invest in your program, your product, hiring you? Give them that content, and that's what will help convert them into clients. It also makes it easy because if you sit down and write out, okay, here's 10 things people ask me about this thing I'm teaching, well, you've got plenty of ideas then of what to write about or what to do your videos about, right? Now, one other thing on this little calendar, you can see I've got right here, this is for me to track, did I write a blog post? Did I send an email? Did I share it on Facebook? Did I share it on Twitter? Did I share it on LinkedIn? Did I share it on YouTube? You can change these to whatever networks you're active on or wherever you want to make sure that you've shared something, but it's just kind of a little way to track it and make sure that you're not forgetting when you do the Facebook Live or when you do the blog post to actually share it with people. Okay, so again, I encourage you to customize these to really fit what types of content you want to create and really think, what types of content does your audience look for? What are they paying attention to? Base your content on both that and what you like creating. And then just customize these. So you're creating 1 or 2 solid pieces of content a week and then focusing on promotion the other days. So let's go to bonus step 6. Bonus step 6 is getting your content seen. What do you do after you've hit publish? And we won't go too deeply into this. I put a lot of information in your workbook for you that I just kind of want to review. Getting your content seen. So you want to have a content promotion plan where every time you publish a blog post or every time you put out a new video or you do a Facebook Live or you do a podcast, you know exactly what to do to share it with people. So here's some examples. This is kind of roughly what I do for my own blog posts. You can see I'm sharing it on social media here. I'm sharing it on Blogger networks. I do some social bookmarking. I will directly email a blog post to friends or colleagues and invite them to share or comment. Make sure that other people can share, all sorts of stuff in here. And I'll send out an email when I publish something in my blog. So consistently create new content, participate in things like blog challenges, Twitter chats, virtual events. You can see some of my weekly goals. I like to guest blog. For you, that might be guest blogging. It might be getting interviewed on podcasts. It might be getting interviewed by people on YouTube or Facebook Live. But that's how do you get in front of somebody else's audience. I seek out blogs to read, to share, to comment on. I'll look at doing collaborative posts or spotlighting somebody else so that I can get them to share the blog post. Forums, depending on your niche or your industry, might be a good place for you to be sharing and participating and sending out your easy emails featuring your new blog posts. Some things to do monthly are review your stats, look at who has shared your content where. So if you see that a blog linked to you, or you see that somebody tweeted something out and it sent you a ton of traffic, reach out and say thank you to those people. You can brainstorm testimonials and reviews to send out. That's something that I try to do monthly, is think about who have I worked with this month that I appreciated, that was helpful to me, and I send them a testimonial or review that they can use. Most of the time, they will, and they'll link back to me or mention my name and my business. That's a good way to get out there in front of their audience. You can look at blog posts. If you're writing blog posts, where can you submit them? Easy articles, self-growth, different places, Medium. There's lots of places you can share your content and get it out there. You could choose a post and turn it into a slideshow or a YouTube video. You can create and submit a press release. You can create a new opt-in freebie. Now these blog posts right here that I showed you, I took these and I turned them into a PDF that I've got as an opt-in freebie. So when people come to the page where I offer Proof Factory, if they try to leave the page and not sign up, it says, hey, wait, before you go, can I send you a free ebook all about how to use social proof to build your business? That ebook is just a compilation of these blog posts. And what does that do? Well, it guides them back to, hey, try Proof Factory. It'll make all this easier for you. So every piece of content you create, think about how you can take that and use it different ways. One of the keys to looking like you're everywhere, looking like you're creating tons of content, is learning how to repurpose your content. So for example, I took these blog posts and I turned them into an ebook. I also used them as the basis for webinars that I did. They were all tied together. So if you've got a product or a workshop, and ask yourself, okay, which pieces of this can I use as a blog post? What's a checklist or a step-by-step that I can pull out and use on my blog? Or that I can pull out and create an infographic? Or that I can do a video on? And then you say, hey, by the way, this content came from my course XYZ. If you found this helpful, you're going to love the course. Here's where to find out more about it. Okay, so think about ways you can repurpose the content you're already creating to save yourself time. Okay, and that also will help you convert when you can say, hey, this content right here that you just liked, well, here's where it's from. Check this product out. Okay, so think about that. Let's see. Reviewing your social networking profiles, look for places that you can link to your opt-ins, things like that. Double check that sharing and subscriptions are working. Here's some example of promotion plans you can check out. You can see how some different bloggers and businesses promote their stuff. And here's kind of a secret bonus for you guys. It's secret traffic sources. Where can you be seen? Find the top blogs in your niche and then ask yourself these questions. Do they accept guest posts? Do they allow comments? Do they allow reprinting their content? Can you share it on social networks or review it on your blog? One of the things that will help your content convert and help you get noticed and get more clients is sharing other people's content as well. So who is complementary to what you do that you can share? Or that you can get to allow you to write a guest post to get in front of their audience that you can leave comments on. Who are the main authority websites? Ask yourself these questions about those. Who are the biggest print or online magazines in your niche? Can you write an article? Can you write a letter to the editor? Can you send in feedback? Can you review it on your blog? Look for ways to leverage things that already have an audience to help you get in front of an audience. Here's some ways that feed back into one of the goals of becoming a trusted authority with your content is borrowing authority. So who can you invite to join you for an interview, who is an authority, who is credible, and you could interview them. Being seen with people like that builds your credibility and authority. What blogs would you like to get noticed on? Which Facebook pages or Twitter personalities would you like to notice you, to know you exist, to maybe share you? What are some other stages you can use to borrow credibility? Virtual events, live events, people's e-zines or email lists, testimonials. How can you get in front of more of your ideal audience with your content? Because remember, creating content and your content plan isn't just the content you create for your own stuff. It's guest posts. It's you being interviewed other places. It's you getting on podcasts. That's part of your content plan, right? Some other things you can do: write a book, attend events, go after media attention, participate in giveaways and contests. Always have your eyes open for how you can get noticed by sharing your content. All right, so your homework from the workshop today is to go back and fill these in. Really look at who is your audience. I'm going to send you that video on empathy mapping. It'll be in your inbox within about 15 minutes of when we wrap up here. So who's your audience? Where can you find them? What are they thinking? And then filling this in. What are their questions, challenges, frustrations, and dreams? If you don't know where to start with this, you have no idea, you're going, I don't know what to fill in here. Couple of ways you can figure it out. Number one, if you are your ideal audience, you're just ahead of them. Like a lot of my audience is getting started in their business, or they're at certain phases in their business that I've already been through. So the first thing is kind of put yourself in a time machine and go back and say, okay, when I was starting out with this, what was the most frustrating part of it? What wasn't working for me? What was I confused by? If I could go back and talk to myself X number of years ago, what questions would I ask? What would I wish someone had told me then that I had to figure out? And what kept me going? Even though it was frustrating, what helped me to learn what I needed to learn or to push through it? What was my dream or my vision? What were my hopes? And what was I afraid of? So that's number one, is put yourself in that time machine if you're your audience. Number two, ask somebody. So reach out to somebody who you know is in your ideal audience and say, hey, I've got a couple questions. Do you have 10 or 15 minutes to chat? And have a conversation with somebody. Or if they're local to you, invite them to lunch. And just have a conversation with them and ask them questions like this. Okay? Another thing is you can go look at Facebook groups. You can look in forums. You can look on sites like Quora and see what questions are people asking. What frustrations are they expressing? Another way to do it is go to Amazon. Look for books that you know your audience reads. So what are the best sellers in your niche? Who are the recognized gurus? What books have they written? And go look at the reviews. The reviews will tell you what those people were looking for. So what was the problem they were trying to solve? It'll tell you if they thought it solved it or not, so you can see what they were frustrated by. And a lot of times the language they're using will help you see what did they really want to get out of it? What was their goal? What was their dream? So Amazon reviews, testimonials as well. Go look at sales pages for programs or products similar to yours and see what testimonials are on those pages. Because the feedback that clients have given to people who do things similar to you will tell you what they were looking for. What are they excited that they got out of it? What did they say in that feedback? That will help you fill in this page and really help you understand how your clients are thinking, what they're looking for. Okay, so time machine, conversations, research in Facebook groups, on Quora, sites like that where people are talking, and competitive research. So go look at Amazon reviews, go look at sales pages, check out the testimonials. Those are some ways that you can really get inside your ideal audience's head and go, okay, these are their problems. This is what they want. Here's the content that I can create that will get their attention and introduce them to a solution. Right? Hope that gives you some ideas of where to start. I saw that question come up in chat. So really, those are the steps. So real quick, the 5 steps are: number 1, know your goal. So what does conversion mean for you? What are you trying to put people into? And you'll notice in this little spreadsheet, I've snuck in a second tab. You may have seen this, you might not have. It says income plan. What is the project? What are some notes about it? What kind of promo are you going to do? What's your sales goal? How much is it for sale, and what's the total? Take some time to look at your numbers. This is really simple. This will only take you a few minutes, but look at your numbers and figure out what are your actual goals for January. And then how do you create the content to support making that happen, right? So number one is really knowing your goals. Number two, who's your audience? You got to know who you're creating the content for. Questions, challenges, frustrations, problems, hopes, dreams. What are their visions, their anxieties? What do they feel blamed for? What reality do they want to escape? What are their opinions? What are the monsters they're hiding from, right? Again, think of it as if you're the doctor, you've got a prescription. What is the disorder or disease that you're solving? Step four is what type of content works for you and your audience. So give yourself permission to focus on one type of content for now. You can always add more later, but what's going to be your main content marketing strategy? Is it YouTube videos? Is it Facebook Lives? Is it a podcast? Is it blogging? Commit to that based on what works for you and your audience. And then think outside of the box. Get creative and have some fun with it. Step five, now create your content plan. So go over your spreadsheet and fill in. What are the different ways you want to create content? What are you going to share there? So if it's that you're going to do a podcast instead of a blog, just change everywhere it says blog to podcast. And then, of course, you've still got email because you want to email it out. And you may or may not have Facebook group on there. You can easily delete things. So just go in here, hit delete if that's not part of your strategy. So customize this for you. Once you have January done, then copy it for February. But remember, start with what are your sales goals? Okay, start with what you want your content to do so that it ties into that, right? And then step six is really getting out there and getting your content seen. So I gave you kind of a crash course of a promotional plan. If you're in Insider Club, you'll notice in the members area, there's a lot more that goes into how to get your content out there. You guys can post in our Facebook group if you want me to link you directly to it. It goes deeper into Vabram and all of that. If you're not in Insider Club, in your inbox, the one that pointed you to this webinar, there's an invitation to join. You can get in for a $1 trial right now. I've never offered that before. I thought around the holidays we'd give it a shot, give you a chance to get inside it, see what it includes, or you can get a lifetime membership for $127. So I encourage you to check that out. I'll put a link on the page where you can see what all is included in Insider Club, but the type of content I've shared with you today is the same type of thing that I teach in the group, and you've got access on demand to stuff. You can see here some of what's included. And again, I'll put this on the page here, but it's the core for your business, your foundational things. It's a vault full of trainings on, all sorts of how to drive traffic to your blog, how to create content, how to get testimonials, sales processes. There's just all sorts of things in here. Social media. Really, it's designed to give you access to one place to go for whatever the current thing that you want to learn next in your business is, and to give you a way to stay on track and keep moving forward with your business. So just a quick little invitation, if you'd like to join and you're not signed up yet, I'm going to put this in chat, and then I'm going to see if you guys have any questions before we wrap up today. Let's see. All right. Oh, thank you guys. Let's see. Kim, I appreciate the endorsement of Insider Club. Brenda, too. I'm glad you guys find that it's worth it to be part of it. Let's see here. So how do you find where to guest post? That is a great question. When you're looking for blogs to guest post on, there's a couple of ways that I would suggest finding them. One is Alltop. This is a site that's been around like forever, but it'll show you what's popular, and you can go into categories. So if I were looking for blogs about marketing, I can put that in. And okay, so am I looking for affiliate marketing? Let's go to that one. And this will take me to the affiliate marketing category. This is what's most popular. And then here's a bunch of blogs. And Alltop personally reviews, like an actual person reviews blogs before they add them here. So you know that these have been vetted, basically. They're not spam blogs, in other words. So this is one place you can go. Let's see. So if I were looking for blogs on blogging, so this one is a ProBlogger article. I know because I've read it already. 5 bloggers who started a blog in 2017 and survived. So there's all sorts of blogs right here that these are ones that get traffic, that are recognized, that if I were looking for guest post opportunities, these are the ones I would research first. So this is where I would start. The other thing you can do is just type in your topic and the word blog, or type in topic, blog, guest post. And that will help you find blogs that accept guest posts. Another valuable way to find them is to just ask your current clients, hey, what blogs are you reading? Or go stalk them on Facebook and Twitter and see what they're sharing. Because if you have 2 or 3 clients who all happen to share the same blog post, it's a pretty safe bet that there's a whole bunch of ideal clients waiting to find you at that blog, right? There's probably a bunch of them reading that blog. So that's another way, is just look at what your audience is sharing or ask them what they're reading. And that's where I would start, is those 3 strategies. I'm going to pop back over to chat here and the Q&A box. All right, can I repeat what the letters stand for? Yes. VABROM stands for vision, anxieties, blame, reality, opinions, and monsters. Actually, I've got a short video training on that. I'm going to make myself a note here. I will send you guys that as well, since you showed up live, because I'm actually going to send out an email only to people who clicked through live. See, benefit of being on, about that, as well as the empathy map for you all. Make myself a note here. All right, I will send those out to you. Next question. Do you always ask permission before sharing other people's content? Seems like some people are grateful you shared and others will sue you if you share. Okay, that is a really, really good question. So here's my 2 cents on it. Certain things are designed to be shared. When you look at things like infographics, people design them because they want you to share them. So when you look down at the bottom, there's usually a note of what the license is. There's something called Creative Commons on the internet. If you're not familiar with it, you can just Google Creative Commons right here. Social proof, getsocialproof.com. When I share this, it's credited to them. And usually I'll actually link to whatever the source is of the infographic as well. You can see, like, I did a blog post recently here, this one. 542 attention grabbing, fill in the blank blog post title templates. This is a bunch of infographics that I just compiled. And you can see I've credited each of the people that originally did that. Sometimes an infographic will say how it's licensed. These ones don't, but they have their credit right at the bottom. These are designed because they want you to share them. People are not going to be upset with you for sharing something that they designed to be shared. Okay, so infographics are okay to share. There's another one here. This one, I believe, has the credit right on it. Let's see here. Right here. So this little symbol, that's a Creative Commons license. It says, this work is licensed under Creative Commons Attribution Share, like for marketing or license link and stuff. Creative Commons is a license people use when they want to give you permission to share, but they want to keep certain rights. For example, in this case, it has to be attributed, which I did right here. Okay, so look for that. You want to look first and see if there's a license on it. For example, on YouTube, some videos do not give you an embed code. So let me pull up a YouTube and I can show you this. Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the link to actually this video that we're on right now. And pull it into the window where you guys can see it. Videos do not give you an embed code. So okay, wait. I'm talking to myself in my ears. Here we go. So if I go to my channel, oh, I see some comments over here. I need to let you guys know where we're at on the page. Let me link you to that if you're in the chat over there. 1 second. Didn't realize people were watching on YouTube. I got to remember to watch for that. All right. So if I go to my YouTube videos and I go to my channel, videos that are okay to share will have an embed code. If there is something that comes up, let's see here. So for example, this is one that can be shared. If you click the share button and you click embed and that shows up, it means the person has chosen to allow you to share that video. So you can take this and put it on your blog. Now, some videos do not have that. If someone has marked a video private or unlisted, or they've checked the box to tell YouTube, hey, I don't want people to share this and embed it, because you can turn off embedding. If I go into edit video, I believe it's the edit video. Let's see. Somewhere in here. Well, I don't usually turn off embedding, but there is an option for it. Let's see. Here it is, under advanced settings, allow embedding. If I don't want people to share this video, I can turn it off. If I don't turn it off, then it's licensed through YouTube to be able to share, okay? So you can look for that if you're wanting to share a YouTube video. Other than that, you wanna look and see if there's a license. If the person doesn't explicitly give you permission to share, then don't share it without asking, okay? Infographics give you permission. Videos like this, they're giving you permission if there's embed code there. Anything that's published on the site like this one, e-zine articles, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one. These are all things that they've given you permission to share, all right? It's all licensed to reprint, and you can see terms, but let me randomly, hey, Terry Marie's coming up on the main page. All right, so her articles, if I go down here and open this one up, you'll see it's got right here a link to her video course and then the article source. So as long as I include that, I'm allowed to take this and reprint it, okay? So there's sites like this that specifically allow you to share their content. I'm gonna pull up a blogger that I believe is Creative Commons licensed to give you one more example here. Some blogs actually release their content under a Creative Commons license that says you're free to reprint this. Let's go to the blog. But if you don't see where someone has released their content under Creative Commons or similar, do not assume that you can reprint and share it. So let me see if he's still got right here. All content's Creative Commons licensed. So that means if I wanted to, I have permission to reprint his blog posts, all right? If you don't see that though, don't take somebody's blog post and reprint it. Instead, use it as inspiration and link back to them for credit, like some of the ways that I have in the workbook for you. Never assume that you can reprint. You're most likely to get in trouble with somebody's content like this if it's not licensed, or images. Images are the other thing. Do not go to Google Images and just look for images to share. Use sites like, here's a couple, Pexels is one, and Pixabay is another, that allow you to use their images free, okay? They've got their license info right here. Pexel are free for any personal and commercial purposes. It's a Creative Commons 0 license, okay? So that's what you're looking for to know what content you can share without, without threat of lawsuit. All right, let's see a couple more questions here. That was helpful, good, okay. How do you put a Creative Commons license on your blog post? So if you go to Creative Commons site, let me pull that up, get in the right window where you guys can see me. So I'm just gonna do a search real quick for Creative Commons. I think it's creativecommons.org, but let's make sure. There it is. There's different types of licenses. Some say you can do anything you want with my content, so they can take it and edit it. Some say you can use my content as long as you keep it the way it is and you link to me, you attribute me for it. License options. And here's where you can learn about it, is creativecommons.org, right? And share your work. If you click this, it'll walk you through you want. So it'll talk to you about the different types of license, and it's guided. And then it'll give you what to use at the end. And you can find all the info here. So if you decide to license your work that way, you're okay with people sharing it, then you would just put it in a widget or in the footer of your blog and let people know, hey, it's okay to share my stuff. All right, but that's what you can do to get a Creative Commons license. Use just creativecommons.org and click share your work and it'll walk you through it. Back to questions in chat here. Does it make sense to ask blog owners who you follow if they accept guest posts? Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to people and say, hey, I love your blog. I think what we do complements each other really well, and I would love to write a guest post for you. Now, it's really important to think through how you pitch that. So what I would suggest is looking at the types of content they usually publish, looking at what people react to, and going to them with an idea of, you know, I noticed that your audience really likes top 10 lists and that it seems like one of the things they struggle with is X. I would love to write a post for you about 10 ways you can fix X. So if you do that and kind of do your research beforehand, it's more likely to get the blog owner's attention because they'll go, oh, okay, this person actually has read my blog. They actually are noticing what content is popular and they seem like they understand it, right? Because if we're going to publish something as a guest post, any of us who blog, we want it to be valuable content that our readers will like, because that's the most important thing to us, is keeping our readers happy so they keep coming back. So if you pitch them from that angle, you're more likely to get them to notice it and say yes. I also always will say in a pitch like that, or let me know if you have other ideas. Here's a link to my blog and you can see some of the topics that I write about. Okay, so let them know you're open to ideas as well. Okay, let's see. Regina, Unsplash is another good source for free images. Yes, it is. Unsplash is very cool. That's something that I've written blog posts on 2 or 3 times. Great places to find free images for bloggers, because that's a challenge that I know my audience has. So again, anytime you're thinking, what type of content should I create? Ask yourself, what are the challenges? What are the questions that your audience has? Create your content around that. All right. Okay, here's one more question before we wrap real quick. Changing your business offering to something completely different. How do I address the issue of authority if it is something I say my clients need and believe others need the same thing? Okay, so when you're moving into a new angle or a new business, a new market, a new audience, you do want to think about that of how do you address that you can be a trusted authority for that particular group of people. And what I would suggest is really looking at what are they looking for? What is it that are the problems they want to solve? Because the fastest way to get someone to trust you is to show you understand their problem and that you've helped other people solve it. Now, if you're looking at quickly building authority and credibility and getting seen, the fastest way to do that is associate yourself with blogs and with people who are already well known in your niche. So whatever niche you're moving into, look for the top people, or if you're looking at tiers, you've got the biggest people, and then you've got people who are leaders kind of right below them. You've got different levels, right? Reach out to people who are a little bit ahead of you, interview them, do a podcast with them, look for ways to get basically your name in the same sentence with theirs, and it will help you more quickly build authority within that niche. And then the other thing is really look for somebody that you can create a case study with. So you've got an example of, hey, this person, here's where they started, they worked with me, they went through my program, here's where they're at now. Because that gives other clients, potential clients, a way to see not just you say you're an authority, but here's somebody who you helped get the result they want. So that's the short answer would be, those are the 2 things that I would suggest. All right. Oh, I appreciate the feedback, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here. Thank you. Okay, you guys are fast in the Q&A box today. If you would like access to the replay of this and some bonus goodies, I'm going to be putting together my own content calendar for January based on the template that I showed you guys. So if you want to see kind of behind the scenes of how I do that, of what goes into that, as well as get access to the replays, you guys can get that. There's a button that should appear in just a second on the right side of the page. It's $7, and you will get both the replay of this session as well as a walkthrough on video of me sharing my own content planning process for January, if that's something that would be useful to you to see a few more examples and kind of get a sneak peek of what I will be up to and promoting in January. You're welcome to grab access to that. Thank you for being here live, tuning in. I encourage you, make sure you take time to really fill in the worksheet and put your content plan together. Hopefully you've done some of it as we go. You've got some ideas, and watch your email for follow-up from me with a few more things that will help you with this process. So I wish you an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later.